Green roofs come in a whole range of styles or categories depending on how deep the growing medium is. From extensive roofs, which have medium that's 4 to 6 inches deep, to intensive roofs, where it can be any depth and you can grow any kind of plant, to semi-intensive, which is anything in between, where the depth varies. Extensive green roofs are green roofs you can plant really on any roof if it's not too steep a slope. The growing medium can be 4 to 6 inches deep. It doesn't weigh very much. It doesn't cost very much. There's low maintenance. On the other hand, you don't have the option for a lot of plant diversity. Often you're using something like sedums. But you can cover a big area, as you see in these examples, and you'll see all over the world many examples. Here's the Ford Rouge truck plant in Dearborn, Michigan, which is a little over 10 acres of green roof. Here's the California Academy of Sciences in Golden Gate Park. You may have seen this. And these bumps here were designed by the architect to echo the surrounding hills. I have read that there have been some maintenance problems with these bumps because of the exposure. So with an extensive roof, you have to watch out for baking sun and drying wind. And on a certain side of the bumps, they're having trouble with plants drying out and they can't hold the moisture. Here are extensive green roofs in the South Waterfront District in Portland again. And on a water filtration plant in Zurich, Switzerland, a 9-acre green roof with orchids. A semi-intensive green roof has planting medium where the depth varies, and the weight varies and the cost varies. It varies, but you do get greater plant diversity. So, for example, we see the Facebook facility, the Facebook headquarters in Menlo Park, California. You probably recognize the designer here, Frank Gehry. So the roof of the Facebook campus here has a half-mile walking path, 400 trees. Here in the upper right is a shot of it in the evening. This is the LDS Convention Center in Salt Lake City that is semi-intensive. Now, when they designed this green roof, they were not thinking about semi-intensive or LEED or sustainability or anything like that. They were just thinking, how can we make an interesting convention center that people will like coming to? So they did this, but it turns out it has lots of additional benefits. And then here are some semi-intensive green roofs, again at the South Waterfront District in Portland. Here are a couple at Fairmount Hotels, and then a Heinz Center in Pittsburgh. Fairmount Hotel again. This is that one that you've seen before in Vancouver, where you can see the planting medium depth varies and the plant type varies. So there are places where the depth is shallow, it doesn't weigh very much, they don't have to worry about structure. And then there are other places in this garden where the depth is greater, and those places are probably planted over structural members in the building. The Vancouver Convention Center has a green roof that's 6 acres. And it's essentially a park. Here's some people walking along there. It's a park with slopes and with a variety of plant types. An intensive green roof is the kind that you see, if you see a roof with trees growing out of it, that's got to have a deep planting medium, and so that's intensive. This is where you probably need a structural engineer because this thing is going to be heavy and you need to figure out where can you put these planting beds and where can you not. But you get the greatest plant diversity too. A well-known intensive green roof is Millennium Park in Chicago. I don't know if you've been here before. These are some aerial views. It looks like a park. So when you're down walking on the sidewalk, you think, oh, nice park on the ground. And then here this swirly metal thing is the auditorium where they hold concerts. That's a Frank Gehry design. Well, this is actually a green roof because the whole area underneath this thing is a multi-level parking garage. So this is the roof of the garage. Here are some photos down at ground level of, there's quite a bit of plant variety, and then you can see that stage there where they hold performances. Here are a couple of interesting examples. The one on the right is a park that's really interesting. It's called Freeway Park. It's in Seattle, designed by Lawrence Halprin. He wanted to ameliorate the impact of this multi-lane freeway that sliced through the city, and he proposed a park. And some people in the city said, are you out of your mind? And other people said, oh, interesting idea. So here's the park. You can see the lid over the freeway. You can also see it has waterfalls and ponds. It has all kinds of trees and shrubs. It was built in the mid-70s, so it's from that mid-70s brutalist style, but it's still just a lovely place. It's next to the Seattle Convention Center, by the way. And then this thing over here on the left is an employee area for employees of Key Bank in Portland. And unfortunately, it's not open to the public. I went there once and talked to the security staff, and they were kind enough to let me go up there with a camera and take pictures. But normally you can't do that because it's a bank, I guess. But anyway, you can see they've got stone-lined sitting benches, they've got trees, they've got all kinds of stuff. This thing is probably heavy. Extensive green roofs are the kind that you can plant almost anywhere because they're lightweight. So they're good for retrofitting a building, and they're good for big areas. The one at the top is in Portland. This happens to be the sustainability officer at the Portland Bureau of Environmental Services. This one at the bottom you may have seen if you've driven towards LCC in Eugene. That's the Sequential Biofuels station. Semi-intensive green roofs combine the costs and benefits of both extensive and intensive. And you can, with the help of an engineer, figure out places where you can put deep planting beds and trees, and then other places where you want to keep it shallow and extensive. So they have greater design potential. Then intensive green roofs, the kind with the deepest planting medium, give you the greatest amount of diversity and design range, and you can do darn near anything with the help of an engineer. Here is a view of the courtyard of an apartment building in the Pearl District. It has affordable apartments, and it's called the 10th at Hoyt. You've looked at pictures of this apartment building earlier when we talked about stormwater management. Here it is again when we're talking about green roofs, because this plaza with all the stormwater features is actually a green roof, and it sits above a multi-story parking garage. So this is the roof of the garage, kind of like Millennium Park in Chicago was.